I'm Dana Denha, and you're watching FYI. As the leaves change and the apples are turned into cider, it's time to get out and enjoy the majesty of autumn in Michigan. Our neighbors to the northwest put on quite a spectacle to honor the harvest season.
We are having our annual harvest festival that we call Dexter Apple Days. We have a big kids game tent, we have bounce houses, pumpkin bowling, we've got a scarecrow contest that we have a lot of our youth organizations participate in. We have an arts and crafts tent, all sorts of fun stuff for the kids.
There were contests galore, from scarecrow decorating, pie eating, and even a car show.
Our apple pie eating contest, and that's where we have the most fun. We have 3 age groups, 8 and under, 9 to 12, and 13 and adult. And we usually get 14, 15 in each age group, and they have to eat a pie.
We had 65 classic cars out today from all eras, from Model Ts all the way up to modern cars.
My favorite part about Apple Days is enjoying it with family and friends and being in a small town environment, supporting local businesses.
Dexter loves our cider mill, we love our community, and you'll just get that wonderful small town feel.
Stay tuned, and we'll be back shortly with more news and information. We are a county chock full of educational institutions, so when it comes time to pick the college or university to attend, the task can be daunting. But Washtenaw Community College is allowing people to be students for a day to show the many programs they offer. WCC's free college days occur twice a year for those looking to learn.
It's an opportunity for the community to come in, to see what kinds of classes we teach, to tour our labs, to really get an idea of the resource that Washtenaw Community College provides the community.
I don't think our community realizes that we have 130 associate and certificate degree programs. We are the biggest transfer institution to University of Michigan.
During free college days, students can register for any number of courses offered regularly at WCC.
This is an opportunity for people to come tour our labs, like our advanced manufacturing lab. We also have a Polaris slingshot vehicle here. That's an open air vehicle, that's a connected vehicle that our students and faculty actually built.
Just come to WCC, we have a lot of fun here.
Our faculty and staff genuinely care about our students. So I guess what I really want to say is thank you. Thank you, Washtenaw County, for your support.
For more info, visit wccnet.edu. In today's technology-ridden world, it's easy to get distracted from your task at hand. But when you're driving, your concentration should be on the road and not on your device. Learn more about distracted driving in this month's City Roundup in 60.
Hi, I'm Sergeant Bill Clock, the Arbor Police Special Services Section. I'm here to talk a little bit about distracted driving. Texting while driving does increase your stopping distance, so it's going to actually take you a whole lot longer to stop. Nationally, in 2016, there was 3,500 people killed in distracted driving collisions. And in 2016, here in Michigan alone, there's 43 fatalities and about 13,000 traffic crashes resulting from distracted driving incidents. Michigan Vehicle Code does prohibit sending a text message, reading a text message, or manually typing a text message. We do have a lot of students coming back to town here shortly, with about 17,000 students attending the Ann Arbor Public Schools and about 45,000 attending the University of Michigan. So there'll be lots more pedestrians. So please keep your eyes on the road, put the cell phone down, and be safe out there.
Brexit is the withdrawal of the United Kingdom from the European Union. We've been seeing a lot of headlines surrounding this, and now one of our local theater companies is delving deep into the Brexit vote through humor and song. Joining me is Adrian Diffy, writer and director of Mind the Gap's production of Brexit Clown, Pride and Prejudice vs. Sense and Sensibility. Welcome to the show, Adrian.
Thank you.
Well, we've had you here before, and
Yes.
you're always sort of bringing like a different flair to the local theater in this area. So what I'd like to know first is, because Brexit has not affected us yet, we kind of maybe don't know a lot about it.
Sure. It's been going on a while, so we're in 3.5 years since the referendum in 2016. In counting in days, there's a relationship between the present government's mandate, which is slightly less than I think it's about 1,220, and Brexit's up there about 20-30 days longer.
Yeah.
A long time.
Yeah.
It was a referendum, simply put to the people of the United Kingdom: do you wish to stay in the European Union or leave it? And 51.9% voted to leave.
So it was actually a really close vote.
And 48.9 voted to stay. It was really close, and it was a very, very complicated question for people to understand, and many, many people didn't vote because they decided this is, I don't know enough to vote on something so important, far-reaching. And since then, I would say that it's been 3.5 years of debate, heated debate in Parliament. 74% of MPs elected in the United Kingdom voted to remain. It was their view. And since then, there's been a watering down of that percentage. It's in Parliament, and we've seen a lot of coming and going with the whole debate. I mean, it's just, the people in Britain, I'd say, are probably worn out now.
Yeah.
You know, physically, mentally worn out.
Yeah, they're sort of done with it.
And we have gone through 3 prime ministers in the time. David Cameron resigned the day after the referendum. He voted himself. He was very much a Remainer. Theresa May at the time, who wasn't the prime minister, she also voted Remain, but stepped in and sort of obeyed the will of the referendum and tried to get a deal with the European Union and didn't succeed. And now we have Boris Johnson, who was a strong in the early days. Actually, he wanted to remain. He's changed his position, and he's become a strong candidate for leaving, and has some kind of deal at the moment, but it's all in suspension because it can't be passed through Parliament because the government in power has been given a vote of no confidence in Parliament. So there will be an election on the 12th of December.
Coming up soon.
Yeah. I mean, it's a really short period compared to America, right?
Yeah. So why don't you tell me about Brexit Clown and kind of how you came up with this idea and what you'll see?
Well, I saw it as a bit of a tragedy, because when I came to America, I came directly from a 30-year career working in the EU in education.
And that's the European Union.
The European Union, yeah, the EU, the European Union, which originally in 1956, when it was formed, was called the Coal Union, as it was. Then it became the Common Market in 1973 when Britain joined it, and there were only 9 members, and now there are 28 members, shortly to become possibly 27.
Yeah.
So the purpose of the Union was to heal divisions from World War II and World War I, and put countries together commercially and economically on a strong footing. And 500 million people are in the European Union, so it's a very, very powerful trading bloc where people can trade, countries can trade with each other, and people can work in each other's countries. And some of those issues in terms of migration have been a talking point, a strong debating point. Although in my show I try and wade through the reeds and try and come up with what I think is the truth about the situation, and it is complicated.
It sounds very complicated, but you obviously are more in touch with it because you did work for the union for 30 years.
Yes, and I was hearing, although I was living in Italy, working in Italy for the European Union, I was working also in Luxembourg, and I was hearing and seeing things in the British press over 20 years that were very negative, and not much was given to balance that viewpoint. And people over a number of years, if told negativity, I think take it on as being the truth.
Well, it's kind of a similar situation that we're in here now in America, where you hear a lot fake news talk, and like that's sort of the same thing, where you don't really know what's coming to the news is real or not real.
Right. So I thought about doing this, and then I was putting pen to paper, and then I got inspired because Benedict Cumberbatch, a very fine actor, did for an Amazon Prime film called A Very Uncivil War. I don't know if you've heard
No,
of
I
it. It's a
haven't.
fabulous film. It's been released throughout America, and he plays the role of a guy called Dominic Cummings, who is now Boris Johnson's right-hand man for publicity, and he's a bit of a guru with the internet, and he's really very, very clever at manipulating publicity. And his view is very much that we should definitely get out as quick as possible. And he's tried hard. And so the film was talking about the role of Cumberbatch behind all this, behind the Leave campaign. The Leave campaign is now probably spearheaded by Nigel Farage, a very right-wing United Kingdom Independence Party politician, who is fielding 600 candidates in the next election, the UKIP, and they've formed a new name they call themselves the Brexit Party.
Okay.
So when we have the Conservatives, we have the Labour, the traditional two in the UK, and then we have the Liberal Democrats, and now we've got this, and we have the Scottish Nationals, and that's another area. Scotland's very unhappy, voted 61% to stay, and they're extremely unhappy with the fact that they are being forced to comply with Parliament in the UK, in London.
Well, so this is something you were mentioning before the show, that this is, we know the Brexit vote, we've heard it, but it's other countries in Europe that are now doing the same thing.
Yes, there's a ripple tide. There's some very strong nationalistic and populistic sentiments in France with Marine Le Pen, who is a very, very strong right-wing movement, and in Italy there's another movement, and in just about, I'd say Hungary is another area. I don't say every single country, Austria as well. But in Germany, Angela Merkel is marvelous. I just think she's been a fantastic, stable figure in all this. And she's always tried to and I think that the Germans in general really regret the fact that Britain leave. They want the British to stay.
Yeah. Well, we're running low on time, so why don't you tell us when and where people can see Brexit Clown?
Well, a fleeting glimpse of it is available only once at the moment. We're going to perform it on the 17th of November, which is a Sunday afternoon. Doors open at 2, and the show will run as long as it does. I think it's probably about a couple of hours. There's a talk back included in the show.
Okay, and that is where?
That's at the Zingerman's Grey Line, the old bus depot.
Okay, that's cool. That's a cool
So it's a neat place, and it's a very nice venue, good for this. We've got good facilities for video and for sound in there.
And since it's like an one-day engagement only, you can only get tickets there?
No, you can get tickets online.
Your website?
At the website, yeah.
Yeah, can you tell us?
It's mindthegaplux.com.
Yep. So you can get tickets there, you can get tickets at...
Oh, you can also get it on the Zingerman's website.
Oh, Zingerman's website.
Grey Line.
Okay, cool, yeah.
That's also listed on the website.
So before we go, why don't you just tell people why they should come to Brexit Clown?
Well, first, I think you probably learned something, but I think that humor's great for breaking down bias. And it's important, even though two sides, the Leave and the Remain campaign, are severely fractured at the moment. I think if I could have a few people from Britain sitting in the audience, I would hope to bring them together, But, so I'm trying to tell the story in a humorous way, and also appeal to, sense and sensibility. I mean, we can't always be biased. We should try and look forward and not look back, I mean, forward looking. I mean, things have gone on in the past that weren't good, but it's a bright future.
Yeah.
We've got to make it so. So with the songs, with some songs in there that we've kind of rewritten some words, and hope that it'll try and go out on a higher note than a lower note. But
Yeah.
behind it all, there is a risk that the British Union, that is the United Kingdom, could disintegrate. Now, Scotland could go its own way. Northern Ireland could integrate with.
So is
with
this
Ireland.
involved in the play where you're sort of predicting what could potentially happen?
I'm acknowledging there's a possibility.
Yeah.
Through poetry as well. There's some poetry in there, which I always think is a good means of conveying sentiment. So it should be fun, but it should be informative as well, hopefully. Okay. And it shouldn't go out totally depressed.
All right, thank you, Adrian.
Thank you. Yeah.
For more on this and other programs, visit a2gov.org/CTN. Visit youtube.com/CTN Ann Arbor to see all that we have to offer. And remember to like, comment, and share. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time to FYI.